We're talking with Michael. Michael, you're with Allworth's Money Matters.
Thank you. Glad to hear from you.
Thank you.
I want to first say that I fully agree with the Mount Fuji thing is crazy.
Thanks.
Thank you.
My question is kind of short and simple, I think. I'm going to turn 70 in January, like 4 months from now. And my SSA.gov tells me that my payment will be $4,977 at 70 years old.
Okay.
And the maximum for Social Security is $4,873. So my question is, how does that work? Should I be applying for it right now instead of waiting for another 4 months since I'm already past the maximum?
You haven't. So, Pat? What is the maximum at full retirement age today? I don't know the number off the top of my head.
I don't know.
4873. 4,000.
That's for normal retirement age.
No, that's for 70 years old.
I don't know the answer to this. If in fact what you are saying is true, then you should take it today.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Yes. But I don't know whether it's true or not.
Or if one has factored in an inflation adjustment and the other one has not yet.
That's
that
the other thing.
That would be my guess.
But do you need the money?
No.
What's your overall net worth?
About $25 million.
Okay. And this is a different side. Take it now. You should have taken it a couple years ago. And the reason is,
we don't know. It's irrelevant now.
A couple years ago either.
Well, but my fear is that we've talked about this.
Yeah, but
on
we're not going to talk about it again.
Is legislative risk.
I'd
take it.
All right.
And how much is your income?
Just about $1.1 million a year.
Are you married?
Yes.
And children?
All in their 40s.
I assume that your trust is up to date.
Never had one.
Okay, so look. Okay, Michael?
Yes.
You need to do a number of things, right? So if this $25 million is a real number, which I believe it to be, then you should be worried about the
estate tax
exclusion reverting back. In fact, I would make the argument that you should contact an estate planning attorney today. And are you gifting money to these children?
Yes.
How much are you gifting a year?
I think it's $18,000 for this year. A person.
And you and your spouse are gifting to each one of the children and or their spouses?
Yes.
And their grandchildren?
No, not the grandchildren.
And is your plan, let's say if you and your wife both passed away today, is the plan for all these assets to go to your family? Or do you plan on having it all go to charity? What would your hope be?
No, I've been giving to charity all along. It would go to the family.
Okay.
Now.
Okay. So
there's a major tax change that could, it's structured now. I think we'll have a little more clarity after the election.
Yeah.
It's $25 million, Scott. He's so
there's
close
some
to the exclusion.
There's some good planning.
So the answer to the question is take the Social Security today. Take all of that money that you're getting in Social Security and give it to an estate planning attorney to actually do the real work. It's going to cost you 10 or 15, 20 grand
for a good estate
planning attorney.
Yeah. But there's a number of things you can do. If your goal is to make sure that this $25 million gets past your children, the estate exemption is currently about $14 million per. So you're fine if both you and your wife died today. But that's set to expire at the end of 2025, which is just and revert back to $6 million
a person. So that's $12 million.
Anything above that's going to be taxed at roughly 50%.
So the planning you should be doing is to actually figure out what assets you should be getting out of your estate while this estate exemption is high. This is what you should be doing. If you were at $10 million, I'd say, it doesn't matter. $15 million, But anything over $20 million, you need to be aggressive about it right now. Right? And look, I had a conversation with my little brother last night who called. One of their neighbors is suffering from Alzheimer's, and it's progressing really quick. He said to me, well, they need an attorney that will come to their home, and how much do they charge? And I said, you probably don't want an attorney that would come to their house. unless they have an existing relationship with the attorney. And you probably shouldn't be worrying about getting the cheapest attorney.
That's correct.
Right?
I agree with that.
Okay. But I'm glad you called. I am so glad you called because of the Social Security. You need to take the Social Security, but if you have this money for a reason. I'm sure you weren't born with $25 million.
No, sir. Bone with zero.
That's right. And I'm sure you didn't inherit this, did you?
Have not. My parents are still alive.
Okay.
Wow.
So this are you named as a beneficiary in their estate?
My dad is one who will not talk about any of that, so I really have no idea.
Yeah.
He's 94 and my mom's 92.
Your estate planning, if they have any
You
net
probably
worth,
don't want to take any.
you might not want to take any. So
Which means either you have a conversation with your parents now or you disclaim.
right? So the
that what
first
they call
step
it?
is
Disclaim?
disclaim. The first step for you to do is, and I wouldn't wait. I mean, I would not wait. And the reason I wouldn't wait is because the attorneys are waiting because they know that an estate planning attorney is going to be so busy next year, you will not be able to find a decent one. They just, because of this change. And
Well,
it
it's
depends
two
on
issues.
who goes to.
It's not just estate. I think the real bottleneck's going to be in appraisers, whether it's property or businesses. Like you've got a family business and you're transferring 40% of the stock to your children. What's that valued at? Well, you need to get an appraiser. And
Excellent point, Scott.
Yeah, I
didn't
so.
even think about that. Yeah, so take the Social Security now and do the trust work.
Yeah, I'm glad you called, Michael. Wish you well.
I'm glad he called too.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's a weird thing when people call and say, "I've got
Oftentimes it's a question.
they never ask about.
Well, the question was not even around the edges. I mean, there was not even an edge there, right? Like 3 or 4 months, and he just wants. I mean, the reason he's got the $25 million, he's been very frugal over the years and wants to maximize every penny.
Yes, you could tell in the nature of the call.
And our concern is, you might be paying millions of dollars in estate taxes that you can avoid if you do some planning.
That's right.
Yeah.
And especially with a gentleman like him, you know that you could move $10 million out of his estate and he'll suffer because he's afraid he's going to run out of money, but his lifestyle won't suffer.
Absolutely.